Well, we are back once again to talk about the Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series. Today we got episode 4, and I'm gonna be honest, this episode was a little disappointing. I definitely wasn't bored at all, and there were certain parts I really loved, like of course getting to go to Pakistan and exploring Karachi. Like Karachi is beautiful, especially like the scenes at night with like all the lights and stuff. Karachi was really, really beautiful, but to be honest, like with Kamala going to Karachi, I just thought there would be more reveals about what's going on with the Bengal and her powers, because I thought that was kind of the whole point of going to Karachi, but really there was nothing in this episode that kind of progressed the story forward, which usually wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but considering that this is episode 4 of a 6-episode series, there's only 2 episodes left. It's kind of a bit concerning. That's always been the concern with all these MC Disney Plus series, is like there's only 6 episodes, so yeah, that's not great. Also, the clandestines are they're like actually boring. But anyways, guys, if you haven't seen the episode yet, of course, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen it, make sure to go check out Ms. Marvel episode 4 on Disney Plus. And without further ado, let's jump into this and break down the episode. So like I said before, Kamala and her mother, they go to Pakistan, and they make it to Karachi. They've even formed a bit of a truce after, Kamala kind of ruining her brother's wedding and her mom being mad at her and all that stuff after last episode. So they got the truce going. They meet up with their cousins when they reach Karachi. And, of course, Kamala's Nani. They go to her house. And this is where then she has this conversation with Kamala and basically tells her, like, yeah, you're a jinn. And, Kamala's been freaking out about that because jinn are the thing of her nightmares. But her Nani's like, no, it's not a bad thing. It's genetics. And this is the whole thing that we've been wondering about this whole time, is because it's been said by Bruno that the Bengal isn't what gives her her powers. The powers were inside her this whole time. The Bengal just helps her channel them, kind of. So there's been a lot of theories going around that since in the comics Kamala Khan is an inhuman, maybe there's some sort of Terrigen crystals within the Bengal that is maybe activating her powers, and by the end we'll get the full reveal like, oh, she is an inhuman. And that would be honestly really cool. I hope that's the direction we're going in. But the number one stop on Kamala's tourist list is the train station. The train that she saw in her visions in last episode, which is also the same train that her Nani was guided back to via the path of stars from her mother and the Bengal all the way back during the partition. But when Kamala is at the train station, we actually do get a cool Ant-Man reference there, a nice mural, so that was nice. But she gets attacked by Red Dagger. So she is actually wearing her domino mask that Bruno made for her in last episode. So we get a cool fight between Red Dagger and kind of proto Ms. Marvel. And honestly, all the fight scenes in this episode were pretty good. There were some nice action sequences. But he ends up taking her to the this restaurant with a secret door to the Red Daggers. So it's like the home base of the Red Daggers, and this is where they meet Waleed, who's kind of like basically Red Dagger's like mentor, and Red Dagger, his real name is Kareem. So yeah, it's a mantle that's been passed down for ages throughout Pakistan, and he's like a protector of the people and the culture. So that was pretty cool. We do get to see Waleed actually showing Kamala like basically a map of this other dimension that Aisha and the clandestines are from. But again, I just thought there would have been like more reveals here as to like what's going on, but I guess not. But actually, speaking of the clandestines, we have meanwhile back in New Jersey, the clandestines, they've been captured and taken in by the damage control, and they are so easily able to escape. I mean, it was also kind of a boring scene, but they leave Kamran behind, so that's interesting. But honestly, one of the most interesting parts of the episode is this really intimate scene between Kamala's mother and her Nani, because Kamala's mother tells her mother the reason she left Pakistan is because everybody thought her mother was crazy with all these theories of like the Bengal and all the stars and like the gin and all this stuff. And so she, like, got bullied for that and stuff. And that's really depressing. It kind of explains, like, where she's coming from as a character. We've seen some of her kind of harsh, strict-ish parenting skills throughout the first couple episodes. But then after this, we get our big climactic finale. Waleed gives Kamala this, like, historic blue vest. And that looks pretty nice in contrast with the blue domino mask. And then the clandestines attack. We get this nice little chase scene. Najma actually ends up killing Waleed, which, pretty predictable. I mean, classic character shows up to do exposition. 10 minutes later, gets killed. Was fully expecting that, but it happens. And then Najma stabs the Bengal, and all of a sudden Kamala is back in Partition, and she sees the train, and just, like, honestly, the horror of everything that went on there, and that's where the episode ends. It just ends on this big cliffhanger. I'm interested to see, like, what is going on here. Is she, like, is it like she's living in a vision, or is she just seeing this, or, like, is this, like, some sort of other reality that she's entered? Is this, like, something that, like, she could die within this reality, or is it, like, a virtual reality type thing, like, kinda? I don't know. It's interesting, and definitely was a cool place to end off the episode and tease us for next week's episode. But again, there's only 2 episodes left, so you're gonna have to start rushing the plot even more. And I've loved this show so far, and this is the first episode that I've kind of been like, eh. But I definitely didn't hate it. I still enjoyed it. I still love the show, and I'm excited to see where things go in the last couple episodes. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about Ms. Marvel episode 4 on Disney Plus? So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life. In the Marvel life.